Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter number 10, entitled The Opulence of the Absolute, and text 39, 40 and 41. So I'll read 39 and 40 and then we can chant 41 together. Yad chapi sarva bhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna na tad asti vinayatsyan maya bhutam chara charam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Purport. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. Text 40. Nantosti mama divyanam bhuti vibhutinam parantapa esha tu deshata prokto vibhutir vistaro maya. Translation. O mighty conqueror of the enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Purport. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all of the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness. Okay, so now you can chant responsively. Yad yad vibhutinat sattvam Srimad urjitam eva va tad tad eva vagachatvam Mama tejom sasambhavam. Yat yat, whatever. Vibhuti, opulences. Mat, having. Sattvam, existing. Srimat, beautiful. Urjitam, glorious. Eva, certainly. Va, or. Tat tat, all those. Eva, certainly. Avagacha, must know. Tvam, you. Mama, my. Tejaha, of the splendor. Amsha, a part. Sambhavam, born of. Translation. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Purport. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Malitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandayaham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhadan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Okay, so just the translations again. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So this particular part of the Bhagavad-Gita was begun in text number 17 and 18, where Arjuna requested Krishna to explain his opulences. O Krishna, O supreme mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur likes to add a little bit of insight into the conversation. And he says that when Arjuna asks these questions, Krishna might have said, but I've already explained to you just a little while ago. In text 10.8, Krishna had said, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam parvartati iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So Krishna had said, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. So therefore Krishna has already said, actually everything around here emanates from me. I am the source of it. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, well, so Krishna could have countered that. And then the wise who perfectly know that engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So therefore Arjuna explains that he wants to know because he is never satiated in hearing about Krishna and how he can remember him. So this is the attitude of an advanced devotee. They want to continually hear about Krishna. That's also described in those in the following verse, text number 9. Matchita matkata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantas chamam nicham tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. But Vishwanath Chakravarti also says that Krishna is very pleased with the question. And he says they can be shown in the following verse, verse 19, where Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Hanta te katayishyami. So Hanta is an affectionate term. It means yes, but it's an affectionate way of saying yes. So actually Krishna is very pleased that Arjuna is asking about all his opulences. Of course, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport to these two verses of Arjuna's that actually Arjuna is also asking on behalf of all of us. How is it possible for us to see Krishna everywhere, to understand Krishna all around us? It's not that we're seeing Krishna as he is standing on the altar there, personally in front of our eyes all the time. We have to be able to see Krishna all around us. While we're in this material world, we have to see his energies. So I wanted to go through some of these opulences. So Krishna starts describing his opulences in the 7th chapter, 7, 8 through to 11. Krishna starts. He starts with, of course, the verse we all know, Rasoham apsukontaya, I am the taste of water. Prabhasmi sasi surayaha, pranava sarva vedeshu, shabda ke purusham nrishu. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om and the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and the ability in man. So in this selection in the 7th chapter is described by the devotees who are advanced, and I'm just following them, that here Krishna is explaining how he is the cause of everything and he is the essence of everything. In chapter 7, text 4, Krishna had said, Bhumir apo nalo vayu kam mano burir evacha ahankara iti yamme bina prakritir astada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. And so now he's saying, I'm the taste of water. So Krishna has said that water is one of his energies, but we can understand Krishna by the taste of water. Prabhupada explains in the purport, we always want pure water. We don't want to drink salty water. We don't want contaminated water. We want the pure water. And that pure taste is Krishna. The light of the sun and the moon actually come from the Brahmajyoti, which is the effulgence from Krishna's body. So in that way, if we see the light in the sun or the moon, we can think about Krishna as being the source, because it comes from the emanation from his body. The syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. So Om actually represents Krishna. And the impersonalists like to stick to Om when they avoid Krishna's personal names, but Om actually means Krishna. The sound in ether, the very essence of the beginning of the manifestation of the material universes, is that ether comes, and from ether sound is generated. And the ability in man. So whenever anybody can do anything, that ability comes from Krishna. I am the original fragrance of the earth, the heat and fire, and I'm the life of all that lives. I'm the penance of all the ascetics. So in this way, we know when the word dharma is explained. Dharma means that essence that cannot be removed. So that's what Krishna is explaining here, this essence. He is the taste of water. He is the original fragrance of the earth. So the Sanskrit word is punyo, which according to Srila Prabhupada in the purport, punya means that which is not composed, that which is original. It's not the rotting matter that's present in the earth, it's the original fragrance of the earth. So Prabhupada also explains that that fragrance comes out into flowers. The original fragrance of the earth comes into flowers. So we can smell a flower and we can think this fragrance is the essence of the earth, and that essence is Krishna. The heat and fire. Without heat, fire has no meaning. The same as we understand the word dharma. Without this quality, there is no meaning to the word of fire. The life of all that lives, and the penance of all ascetics. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existences. That's he's repeating again in today's verse. The intelligence of the intelligent and the prowess of all powerful men. So again, without these qualities, there is no meaning to the actual terms. And 11, I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. So Prabhupada explains that devoid of passion and desire means that the actual purpose of having strength is to protect others. The purpose of strength is not to take over the universe, but the purpose of strength is to protect others who are weaker. I am the sex life which is not contrary to religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas, Arjuna. So this also, dharma, sex life according to religious principles, is for grihastha life, for the propagation of children. And Krishna says that is me, because that's the function of this material world. It's the function of the Prajapati, to give living entities a chance to come into this material existence and purify their existence. So it's an important function. And Krishna says, yes, that function is also me. Another place where Krishna speaks about his opulences is in the 9th chapter. Starting from 16 and going through till 19. Krishna speaks about how we can know him through worship, through sacrifice, through yajna. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. So every part of our worship, Krishna is saying, that essence is him. And then he is the essence of all relationships. The following verse, I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama and the Yajur Vedas. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed. O Arjuna, I give heat, I withhold and send forth the rain, I am immortality, I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. So this section in the 9th chapter, Krishna is explaining all these things, how we cannot possibly do without him, how everything that is around us, the essence of our life, and is to do with Krishna. Burijan explains in his book that it's to do with seeing Krishna in the universal form, seeing him in the elements all around us. And in this 10th chapter, I have here a list which has been summarized into different categories so that we can understand it a little bit easier, because there's so many opulences that are mentioned. So these opulences mentioned when Arjuna requests them in text 17 and 18. In 19, Krishna replies, I will tell you just a few of them because my opulences is unlimited. And then text 20 through to 39 describe these opulences. So this summary is not in order, it's not in any particular order, but first is classified in demigods. So Krishna says, of all the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. Of the Rudras, I am Shiva. Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am Kuvera, the lord of wealth. Of the Vasus, I am Agni. Of the generals, I am Kartikeya. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarata. Of the creators, I am Brahma. Of the Daitya demons, devoted Prahlad. Of the dispensers of law, Yama, the lord of death. Departed ancestors, Aryama. The cause of procreation, Kandarpa, the god of love. So that was 13 mentioning in the demigods. Of the sages, I am Vyas. Of the great sages, I am Brigu. Of sages amongst the demigods, I am Narada Muni. Of priests, I am Brihaspati. Of perfected beings, I am sage Kapila. And of great thinkers, I am Ushana, which is Shukracharya. Of human beings and kings, of the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya. Of men, I am the monarch. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudev. Of animals, of horses, I am Uchesvara. Of lordly elephants, Airavata. Of cows, Surabhi. Of serpents, Vasuki. Of the many-hooded Nagas, Ananta. Of the aquatics, demigod Varuna. Of the fishes, a shark. Of the beasts, a lion. Of the birds, Garuda. Law and crime. Of subduers, time. Wielders of weapon, Lord Ram. Or Parasuram. This is just Ram has different meanings. Of cheats, gambling. Of means of suppressing lawlessness, punishment. Of weapons, thunderbolt. And Krishna also says, I'm all-devouring death. In qualities, Krishna says, of the wise I am wisdom. Of secret things I am silence. Of those who seek victory, morality. Of the splendids I am splendor. Of woman I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness and patience. I am adventure, I am victory, I am the strength of the strong. In nature, of lights I am the radiant sun. Of the stars I am the moon. Of the mountains I am Meru. Of the immovables I am the Himalaya. Of water bodies I am the ocean. Of trees I am the banyan. Of purifiers the wind. Of flowing river the Ganges. Of creations I am the beginning, middle and end, as Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Of months I am Magashirsha, November, December. Of seasons the flower-bearing spring. I am exhaustible time. No beings moving or non-moving can exist without me. Philosophical truths. I am the super soul in all living entities' heart. Of living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. Of senses, I am the mind. I am the beginning, middle, and end of all beings. I am the generating seed of all existences. I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of letters, I am the letter A, pronounced in Sanskrit A. Of compound words, the dual compound. Of sciences, the spiritual science of the self. Of logicians, conclusive truth. Of the hymns of the Samaveda, Brihat Sama. Of Vedic mantras, Krishna says, of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, the chanting of the holy names. and of the Vedas, the Samaveda. So many opulences, and Krishna, as Srila Prabhupada is explaining here in the purport, whenever we see anything extraordinarily opulent, we can see that as a manifestation of Krishna. So Prabhupada in the purport to text 9, he says, it is not possible, text 19, it is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. They want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. Therefore, he has only agreed to state the principal manifestations. So there's been a lot of opulences mentioned. Now what I was wanting to do was just ask, how are we doing at seeing Krishna in everything all around us? I know I'm not doing so well. So I'm just wondering if any of you would like to describe how it is that you manage to remember Krishna is all around us at all times. Prabhupada says even the drunkard, if he can remember that the water in the wine is Krishna, then he will become Krishna conscious. But we don't want to remember him that way. Does anyone have any things they want to share about how he's Prabhu? Can we have the microphone so that the radio listeners can hear?
Krishna Mataji, thank you. I always find it easy to remember Krishna when it's time for prasadam.
Prasadam.
Would you speak something about the glories of prasadam?
Prasadam, of course, is most glorious when we do remember Krishna while we're partaking of it. If we're very fortunate and prasadam reminds us of Krishna, then we'll get the most benefit. But if we treat prasadam as just food or something to be enjoyed, something very enjoyable, of course prasadam is enjoyable, but if we treat it only as something enjoyable, then we won't, of course we'll get benefit, but we won't get as much benefit. Yeah, I mean, it's said that Prabhupada would often sit facing a wall when he took prasad because he didn't want to be distracted about things around him. There are some pictures also with him, with his prasadam plate is right by the wall and he's facing the wall. So yeah, that's for us to focus on. I've been teaching some Vaishnava etiquette to some devotees, and it stresses every time we take prasadam, we should remember to recite Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayers, Sarirya Bijadal, and we should meditate on the meaning. It's not just a prayer to be recited; it's a prayer to be remembered on. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, these senses are so, especially the tongue, is so strong and impetuous, we can't control it. But Krishna, through his mercy, has given his prasadam to us. And so therefore we should take it in that view. Not only it is Krishna personally, but it is also Krishna's mercy. That is, it's been given to us to help us control our senses. Prabhupada says that controlling the tongue is, he says in Nectar of Instruction, controlling the tongue is we control the tongue by eating only Krishna prasadam and by chanting the holy names. And of course Krishna prasadam, we have to make an effort sometimes. Sometimes when we're traveling we have to eat something else. We have to eat some commercially prepared food. To some extent the karma is got rid of when we pay for it. So if we have to eat some outside food, we should pay for it. But at the same time, still the consciousness of the cook ends up in the food. And a factory, Prabhupada describes factories as ukra karma. So we should try and avoid factory-produced foods. We should try and avoid foods produced by people who are cooking food simply to get money, because that is also the mode of passion. That is also not very good. The recommendation is if you are traveling and you can't carry enough food for yourself, you should eat food in the mode of goodness, like fruits, nuts, milk. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes because of health reasons we have to take other food. But we should avoid it as much as possible. We should avoid catering to the senses as much as possible. Say, no, I don't like the temple prasadam, let me go and find pizza outside. That might also be prasadam, but that may not be the best way to find it.
Another is sometimes whatever we eat outside, and before eating we offer to Krishna. So does the quality of that prasad changes, or it is the karmas of the cook and other things are including that?
Well, actually, what I was taught that if we're eating some food that was not cooked by devotees, we can offer to Guru and we can offer to Gaurnitai, but we shouldn't offer it to Krishna. We should offer it as Gaurnitai is very merciful; they will accept it. Yeah, it will help as much as we can. When Bhakti Siddhanta, even Prabhupada said you can go to Russia and preach. You can even eat meat, but you have to keep your mind on the preaching and not be dissuaded. I mean, those devotees who are preaching a lot and preaching to other people, and for the sake of preaching, they will take prasad at people's homes. But they have to be careful with their consciousness, and they have to be careful about following their sadhana very strictly. You'll find Prabhupada's quotes on this subject. He says that we have to be very, very careful about chanting our 16 rounds early in the morning as much as possible, following our sadhana strictly. And then our preaching will be enthusiastic, and we will not be so much affected by such things. Like Prabhupada, when some devotees arranged prasadam at a life member's house, they forgot to tell the life member that they didn't eat onions. So when onions were served, the devotees were telling Prabhupada, there's onions, we can't eat it. Prabhupada said, eat it. Because they've gone here to establish a relationship, a preaching relationship. Now, it was their mistake. They forgot to tell the devotees they didn't eat onions. So Prabhupada said, just eat it. But that enthusiasm for preaching will help overcome the contamination of the other modes. And our strict sadhana. Strict sadhana is very important.
Just like we are collecting funds from the non-devotees, for materialist people, those who are not earning in a different manners, whether they are earning honestly or dishonestly, person gets when we offer Krishna to Krishna?
The point for you is to make sure that if you collect money from people who are not devotees, that every cent of that money has to go for Krishna. Because if we keep a little bit for ourselves, then we will be contaminated by that karma. And that's important. They will get the benefit. If they're offering money to Krishna, they will get benefit. That's why when we're distributing books, we ask some money, even if it's only a few rupees. Because by encouraging, actually, Vaisheshika says, we should not deprive people the opportunity to give some money. We should not just give books out for nothing, because that's actually depriving people of the opportunity to give something for Krishna. If you ask even just a few rupees, then they have to give something. And that giving, that act of giving, is much more beneficial in terms of agyat sukriti, this unknowing piety that will help them get to devotional service, because they're giving money to a worthy cause, and it's an immense benefit for them. So we shouldn't just give books. If at all possible, we should receive at least a few rupees in return, and that just gives so much a benefit to the people we're distributing to. How about some other ideas from other people about how we remember Krishna?
Sometimes the funds are more than the requirement.
Prabhu, can we get back to the subject? Some other ideas of remembering Krishna.
Okay.
Anybody have some more ideas of how we remember Krishna in our life? Yeah. Yeah, we can come to questions. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
We can remember God by saying and by thinking that God is existing in each and every person, whether it is animal, bird,
Remembering that Krishna is in every living entity. It's important. It's an important part of our daily practice, because if we don't remember that, it's very easy for us to kill the mosquito. But if we remember Krishna is there as well, we'll be a little bit more kind to the mosquito and just tell it to go away. Hare Krishna.
I remember Krishna by looking at Tulsi Maharani. This is my Tulsi garden. Used to be in Dubai. So
Beautiful.
if everyone would like to see it, so a lot of manjaris, by offering manjaris and
Yeah.
basically
Tulsi Maharani.
Yeah.
It's a very nice way to remember Krishna. So Tulsi Maharani is an important part of our daily program. Yeah. Tulsi Maharani, very nice Tulsi Maharani from Dubai. So that's why Prabhupada has given us in our daily program, he's given us Tulsi Puja, that every day we can worship Tulsi. And the other thing about worshipping Tulsi every day is Tulsi Maharani is a pure devotee. And so anybody who just happens to walk into the temple, and we encourage them to worship Tulsi Devi with us, to do parikrama around Tulsi and to offer some water, that's another way of giving everybody the opportunity to offer some devotional service, some very powerful devotional service of offering something, parikrama around Tulsi Maharani to offer respects, and offering some water to Tulsi Maharani. We give them the opportunity to do some devotional service, even if they don't know about it. It's very powerful. So it's an important part of our morning program, and try not to miss it. Now, of course, the other thing about Tulsi prayers is they're very special prayers, because they're actually praying for the highest platform of devotional service. They're praying for service to Radha Krishna in the groves in Vrindavan. So it's important that I like that prayer very much. And you see how Prabhupada so nicely has put it in our morning program before our japa time. So when we do anything in deity worship, we have what's called bhuta shuddhi, which means purifying our intelligence. We say, I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. an infinitesimal spiritual spark, completely apart from the gross and subtle material bodies. But somehow I've forgotten it. And the other verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Naham viprona cha narapati napi vaishyana sudro, Naham varini cha griyapati no vanasto yatirva, kintu prajam nikla paramananda purnamratabde gopi bharta parakamalaya dasa no dasaha. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Vaishya nor a Sudra, nor am I a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha or Sannyasi. I identify myself only as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. He is an ocean of nectar and he's a cause of universal transcendental bliss. So this is purifying our intelligence. But for our japa, what are we doing before japa? We've got Mangalarti. So Mangalarti, we worship the spiritual master. It's very important first thing in the day. We also worship the deities. We worship Krishna. And then we have Narasimha prayers. We pray for removal of our obstacles to devotional service. And we have Tulsi prayer, we have Shikshastakam, which gives us the highest goal of chanting as we go through the different slokas. And we have Tulsi prayers, which gives our consciousness that we want to be fixed into Braj Seva in Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the same effect as what we do with different mantras and deity worship. Prabhupada has given us every day in our morning program to purify our intelligence before we start chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So it's important that we follow this morning program. If we can't always be at the temple, we remember the importance of it and follow it in our own way. So like that, Tulsi is very special. Okay, any other comments, Prabhu? Somewhere back there, there's a microphone. Hare Krishna.
Generally, when things are going on fine, we take things for granted. Like Krishna is talking about how everything is happening in our day-to-day life, the sun, light, everything is because of Krishna. But we usually try to realize this point when we are in trouble, and when we are sick, something we depend on doctor. So people generally say, "You are my God, please cure me." And then we are in distress, it's easy to remember that it's not in my control, it's only God's control. So remember Krishna. These prayers are happening.
Good. If we're lucky, it's easy to remember. But sometimes we get caught up in trying to blame someone around us, and then that's also very, very damaging. We start to see somebody else who's the cause of our problems instead of depending on Krishna. So when we're feeling distressed, we can think of Krishna and surrender to him. That's a good position. But if we start committing Vaishnava aparad by blaming it on some devotees around us, then it's a very dangerous position. So yeah, we have to be very conscious. And whether we're in distress or whether things are going well, we have to be in the modern paradigm. They have a term now called mindfulness, but it's an extension of Krishna consciousness. There's a quote from Prabhupada. He says, to become Krishna conscious, first become conscious. I haven't got the reference for that, but I have heard it several times. To be conscious of what we're doing and then try and remember Krishna around us. Anything else? Hare Krishna.
So I want to ask a question. If I have some reaction with devotee or some relationship that is not exactly what I said, and some aggressive situation or somebody would punish me. So I understand that Srimad Bhagavatam says that is my karma. So I cannot not did react, make some reaction in the bad situation. So I want to ask you a question: how I can remember Krishna in understand that this Krishna want, or I not exactly understand how I can keep mood about Krishna consciousness and remember Krishna as this consciousness.
Okay. So yeah, it's quite hard, and it's not a simple answer. Because while we can accept everything as our karma, we don't go out into the jungle where the tiger is going to jump on us. So that's a simple example, right? You can understand that. We don't deliberately put ourselves in a dangerous position. But when it comes to relationships, it's not so simple. It's much more complicated. But still, we have to try our best to protect our body and to protect our consciousness, so that we can execute the devotional service. As you said, it's difficult to remember Krishna when things are not going right. There's no simple solution. Prabhupada at times gave completely opposite answers for similar situations. There was one example quoted in class recently, where one lady in Delhi had come to Prabhupada and said, "My husband is beating me and mistreating me. I want to come and take shelter of the temple." And Prabhupada said, "No, go home. You're a married woman, you have to go home to your husband. He's your shelter." And she came another time and he gave the same instruction. But yet in another instance, and possibly there's some regional difference, I think in America, he'd allowed women who were he actually advised some women who were in troubled relationships that they could then become renunciants. He advised they could be like Vishnupriya. And one of the female devotees in America had a very troubled relationship, and Prabhupada said, "Okay, so now you want to become like Vishnupriya. You should dress in white and you should become very renounced." So there's no simple solution, basically. When it comes to relationships that cause trouble. In one place in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that if the person is not Krishna conscious, you can leave them. But in other places, Prabhupada says you shouldn't leave somebody who is your shelter, because shelter for the body is also very important. Maharaj talked about that in his last class, how this protection, particularly protection of women, is very important. Arjuna also talks about it in the first chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. He describes this whole system of the fall down of society. If the women are unprotected, then they become polluted, not deliberately or not even because of weakness, but simply because they have no shelter, they have no maintenance, they have no support. So naturally, they have to support their families. That is their duty. So this fall down comes as a natural consequence. So it's important we try and keep society working properly. So I have no perfect answer for you, but you have to seek guidance from some senior devotees who can help guide you. Remember that you need protection. Krishna is your ultimate protector and your ultimate maintainer. But sometimes you need to take some other protection. He offers his protection in different ways. He's not personally going to come and get you. He may provide someone else to give you protection. So we have to become even more personally conscious that Krishna is our maintainer and our protector. And we can take shelter, of course, of Lord Narasimhadev if we're in trouble. The Narasingha Kavach prayers are there. We can recite Narasingha Kavach. If we feel we need that extra protection, then we can pray for it. We can pray for guidance of how to deal with the situation, like that. Is that at all helpful? Thank you. Anything else about remembering Krishna? Okay, thank you all so much for coming. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.